Head referee Brad Allen, this is according to the pool report after the game, said, quote, "We had a situation where if you were going to have an ineligible number occupy an eligible position, you have to report that to the referee. On this particular play, number 70, okay, who had reported during the game a couple of times, reported to me as eligible. Then he lined up at the tackle position. So actually, he didn't have to report at all. Number 68, it was Decker who caught the pass. I'm just reminding you outside of the quote here. But the quote continues with, number 68, who ended up going downfield and touching the pass, did not report. Therefore, he is an ineligible touching a pass that goes beyond the line, which makes it a foul."
Can't think of a more perfect time than having Adam Schefter here with us on SportsCenter. Adam, what are you hearing as far as the reaction around the league and how this ruling was handled?
Well, there's a lot of reaction to this, and I think it's a commentary, overall on the state of officiating in the game. One Lions official said it was the worst call he had ever seen in a game, and of course, you're going to expect the Detroit Lions to feel that way. Had another NFL executive from another team say that the Lions basically tried to trick the officials by sending 3 linemen over there. Dan Skipper was over by the official, Penny Sewell was over by the official, and Taylor Decker was over by the official, when just Taylor Decker should have been over there, not all 3. But that doesn't excuse the officials from missing the call that Dan Campbell says he laid out to them pre-game, and then you heard every Lion say that clearly 68 was reporting. Obviously, the official didn't hear it correctly and got it wrong. The Lions tried to trick him up and wound up tricking up the official. They tried to trick up the Cowboys, tricked up the official instead, and now we have a scenario that has the real possibility of totally rearranging the NFC playoff picture, because if the Detroit Lions now, who are basically locked into the 3 seed, win in the opening round, their second round game is probably going to be at an NFC East team as opposed to hosting the game. Not only that, but next week, the Lions are probably locked into number 3, so they're playing Minnesota, which is still competing with other teams for a playoff spot. The Lions may treat next week as a bye. So one call has completely changed the way that the NFC playoff picture could look.
Yeah, at this point in the season, it could be detrimental after what you just said, Adam. But if it's determined that it's officially an error from what we saw from the referees, what's the league process looking like going forward for this officiating crew?
Well, it is not the first time that Brad Allen's crew has made a high-profile error this season. They are regarded as a good crew. He's a good official. But there have been any number of missed calls, including this one at the end of the game, where there was no pass interference called when clearly there was. And this was not called. There are other instances throughout the course of the year that the Brad Allen crew did not make. We could go through, and we've done this already on ESPN.com. Basically, I could tell you this. In the postseason, it's going to be mixed crews. A large part of Brad Allen's crew is not going to be officiating in the postseason. They're going to get downgraded. And the chances are that many of them are not going to be involved in the postseason, because the league has a huge issue here where there's a controversy over officiating, no matter who's right and who's wrong. It's Sunday morning of week 17, and we're talking about whether the officials got a call right that threatens to impact the entire playoff picture. It's ridiculous. And there have been way, way too many instances of this year, and there are a lot of teams that are pissed off.
Yeah, and evidently we are too having to talk about this week by week instead of talking about Jared Goff and Dak Prescott's performance. Let's take it over. Adam, thank you. You're sticking around with us a little bit more. Randy, who are you with?
I've got Damian Woody. I've got Herm Edwards. So a man who played the offensive line, a man who's coached professional football. Damian, I want to start with you. Your reaction to the end of game sequence.
You see me fanning right now, right? I'm still, I'm still hot from that call last night, and I feel for Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions in this situation. But let me remind everyone out here, I played 12 years in the National Football League. I've been in this situation before where you have to report eligible. Yeah. It's literally, you don't even have to say anything. You're literally swiping your jersey in front of the ref. That is it. You're swiping your jersey in front of the ref to let the referee know that you are an eligible player. Okay, you are eligible. Dan Skipper, number 70, he was ineligible. He was lined up at tackle. Penny Sewell was lined up next to him, so he could not have been eligible on that play. So if you look at the whole picture, you look at the formation, the only lineman that could have been eligible was Taylor Decker. That's it. That's a blown call by the referee.
I want to pick on something you just said, nonverbal. Sometimes you can just go up and swipe your jersey.
Yes.
It looks like Allen isn't even looking at Decker in the overhead shot. Is it incumbent upon one person in that interaction to make eye contact, to make sure that, hey, I'm not trying to tip off Dallas any more than I need to, but I need to make sure you see me, and I'm doing this.
Listen, I don't know what more Taylor Decker can do. Like, he literally walked up to the referee, swiped his jersey.
We could all see that.
And that's all you have to do. Okay. Like, he did his job. The referee didn't do his job.
All right, from a coach's perspective, Herm, what is it on the coach? What's your role in communicating this? Because we heard Dan Campbell say, I hammered this to a T pregame.
And he did. He hammered the pregame. The officials generally come to your locker room, and you always give him the officials warning of any kind of new formation, a new play, something that officials don't want to be caught off guard. For me, I would draw up the formation and say, this is the formation. Are we eligible? How do we go about doing this? We're going to check in with you guys. These are the numbers. You let them know this before the game, actually.
Numbers of the players.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You kind of give them. They don't want to get caught by formations or something tricky where they go, oh, we just caught us. We don't want to embarrass officials. Officials don't want to be embarrassed. But as Adam said very nicely over there a few minutes ago, the officials are on the hot seat right now.
Sometimes the officials.
When you're talking about officials at the end of football games on Sundays, that's never good. That's not a good sign.
And you got to understand, the reason why Shefty's hot, I'm hot, Herm is hot, we're talking about playoff seeding. That matters. It's a big deal between playing on the road and playing home games. And like Adam Schefter talked about, the whole NFC playoff picture as far as seeding could be shaken up because of one call.
And you want to have the players decide it and not the guy with the whistle in his hand.